tons of bombs were dropped on a besieged refugee camp called Gaza. That's about 1.5 times this to what many legal experts have said. We can continue to argue details from the safety of our...
Mohammed Shtaya, Israel's national security advisor overnight said, and I quote, "The US understands they are not in a position to tell the IDF how long it has or needs to achieve the goals. The good thing," he said, "is that they, Israel and the US, share the same goals. We cannot measure this in weeks, and I'm not certain that it could be measured in months." The National Security Advisor of Israel is talking about months here, potentially. What's the impact, sir?
Thank you very much, Becky. I would like also to thank our host, my dear Prime Minister. Well, look, by all means, if Israel is above international law, I think Israel should be put on sanctions. Israel should not be allowed to continue violating international humanitarian law, international law, United Nations resolutions. One. Second important issue, it's not up to Israel only. It is those who have given the Israelis the greenest of the green light to continue killing the Palestinians. For the United States to block a United Nations security resolution, one should hold the Americans responsible as part of the launching attack on the Palestinians in Gaza and in the West Bank. The third important issue, how many Palestinian lives should be lost in order for Israel to revenge? Today, the Israelis are not going to achieve any political goal. Israel today is in the mood of revenge. It's like a wounded bull who wants to kill anybody that is facing them. When you have, in 60 days, 16,000 Palestinians killed, in Ukraine, in 600 days, 7,000 people were killed. So the magnitude and the volume of killing is unprecedented. As we have seen in the United Nations reports, 2/3 of those who have been killed are innocent Palestinian civilians. Most of them are children and women and so on and so forth. So the question is not what the Israeli National Security Advisor is saying. The question for all of us is that what is it that we should do to stop this aggression? It's not only killing. What is happening today in Gaza is people are put to starve. Some people, on the 7th of October, the temperature in Gaza was 32 degrees centigrade. Today is rainy season, it's cold. People went out of their homes with short sleeves and so on. So people, they need clothes, they need food, they need medicine. 42,000 Palestinians have been injured who are lacking medicine. One important issue. There are 5 entry points to Gaza. There is only one entry point that's activated, which is Rafah crossing. That is not enough. Israel today is responsible as an occupying power to provide electricity, water, food supplies, medical supplies, and so on. It was the Minister of Energy of Israel who switched electricity off. Hospitals have no fuel, no electricity. It was the Israeli Minister of Energy who switched the water tap off from Gaza. This is a criminal act. This is criminal under international law that Israel should be stopped. So, coming back to your question, I think that the international community, and by the way, the International Criminal Court also, who have been delaying putting Israel on the stage, Palestinians have applied in 2014, 2017, that Israel should be held responsible. Only when Israelis have casualties, the Prosecutor General has arrived in the region. This delay of justice is an absence of justice. Therefore, we should all immediately investigate what Israel is doing in the Palestinian territory.
You brought up the human...
Yes. Well, look, I think it's very important that we should all realize that Hamas is an integral part of the Palestinian political mosaic. And therefore, for Israel to claim that they are going to eliminate Hamas, I think this is something that is totally, first of all, is not going to happen and totally is not acceptable to us. The other important issue of the day after. Speaking about the day after, our main concern as Palestinian is not the day after. Our main concern as Palestinian is today. And we want a stop of these atrocities and genocide that is happening today. The other issue is that the Palestinian Authority, we never left Gaza. We have been providing water, electricity, education, health, medical supplies. We have been providing every assistance to Gaza. Even though Hamas did take over Gaza in 2006, we never left Gaza. So therefore, for us, the day after, it does need, first and foremost, a Palestinian national consensus. The issue is not about putting Gaza under custodianship. The issue is not a day after for Gaza and leaving the West Bank. We need a comprehensive political solution that does put an end to this Palestinian suffering that has started 75 years ago. The events in Palestine did not only start on October 7. So therefore, my dear Becky, all what is needed, the international community who are present here, is the day after that should look like ending occupation. The problem today is that we don't have a partner in Israel. The problem today is that the United States is in a mood of elections. And therefore, we need the United Nations to come and say that this occupation that has occurred on the Palestinian people on 1967 should be ended according to United Nations resolution, according to international law. So, therefore, the issue is not that we have a plan with Washington. The issue is that we were discussing with Washington that the day after should be followed by today, and today should mean ending the atrocities. The day after is for all Palestinian territories, and therefore, if I was quoted by Bloomberg to say that we are working on a plan, we are working with the international community on a day after that should end occupation and manifest an independent, sovereign, viable state of Palestine on all the Palestinian territories, including Jerusalem as the capital. Last point. The issue for us is that this occupation that has been there for so long, the total failure is the Israeli-American approach. You cannot handle the question of Palestine from a security perspective. Palestine-Israeli conflict needs a political solution, not an economic solution, not a security solution. Israel all the time wanted to employ only a security solution, and events have proven the Israelis to be failure, and the Americans have been proven to be failures, and all what is needed is a political solution that ends the conflict. Full stop.
Understood. I do want to press from where Ayman was. I mean, Benjamin Netanyahu, by the way, said he won't work with the Palestinian Authority. So, I mean, where does that leave? Where does that leave? Who will be involved in where Ayman wants to see the region go next?
Let me make it very clear. First, the Israeli intention has always been to destroy every possibility of a future Palestinian state. If we look at the figures, the number of settlers today in the West Bank, 755,000. 285 Jewish settlements have been constructed illegally on an illegally expropriated Palestinian territory. Gaza has been put under siege for 17 years. The city of Hebron is divided between H1 and H2. The rest of the Palestinian territory is fragmented between Area A, Area B, Area C. So the Israeli intention is very clear, to destroy every possibility of a future Palestinian state. For us, there are two conflicting paradigms. One is national liberation is what we do, and the other is occupation and what the Israelis is doing. And there is no compromise between these two issues. One has to defeat the other, and always, and it has been, that the indigenous people, the people who are in struggle, they will win, and the Palestinians will win. Now, I know for sure if any victims will be beside the innocent people who have been there, I think the Israeli Prime Minister will be one of the victims, because it is a total failure of him personally as well as what the Israelis are doing. Now, the Israelis has to face the reality. They cannot continue occupying illegally and by force the Palestinian people who have been fighting for their national liberation. The Israelis today have to face another reality, which is either two states or an apartheid one state in which Israel will go into a regime that is what can call the South Africanization of the Palestinian question, in which a minority of Israeli Jews will be governing the affairs of the Palestinian people. And this is something that this apartheid state will be defeated in the same way that our South African apartheid state was defeated. The last thing I want to mention is that we know Washington is in the mood of elections. We know that there will be a serious and dramatic change in Israel. I know that Israel is in the mood of revenge, but this does not take them anywhere. The Palestinians will not surrender, even though we have a white color in our flag, but we will never raise a white flag for surrendering. This 75 years of struggle will continue until we free our peoples. Last thing, we tried every ways and means to bring the Palestinians in a united front. Of course, and I know how much Qatar has invested into this to bring a Palestinian unity in the same way that Egypt did, in the same way that Jordan did, and so on and so forth. And today I think we have no excuse whatsoever to continue to be divided, because it is a must that if we want to win this, we have to be united. And also, the support that we are enjoying by our brothers from the Arab region and internationally, and we have seen this is the last war ever, maybe the first war ever, in which the international community failed to call for an end of the war, for an end of atrocities, for an end of genocide, and so on and so on. Now, the region is in serious turmoil. The region is in serious danger. Everybody does not want the war to extend. But, again, it is in the hands of the Israelis. With all the effort that the international community is going through, with all the issues that has to do with normalizing relations with Israel, it is only one central issue that if not settled, not solved, the region will never live in peace, which is the question of Palestine.
We have, sir, and I'm going to leave the last point to the Prime Minister here. Thank you for doing that. And with that, thank you all for joining us for what was an excellent discussion. Thank you very much indeed.